It is a beautiful spring day here in the great state of Michigan. As you can tell, it's actually a lot warmer than it looks, but today we're back at it again with a classic Justin Buice BMW vlog. I got new wheels for this car that I'm super excited to show you in a minute. First, we're gonna wash it though. It's funny because I actually washed the car specifically for the video, but then the irony is that this morning I had to drive like 20 miles in the rain to get the tires mounted. So I'm gonna rinse it off really quick with the hose and we'll go from there. Now, obviously I'm gonna upgrade this at some point, but this is the one that came with the house. We'll see how this one works. If you guys have any suggestions on a good but affordable pressure washer, let me know down in the comments. For some reason, our water pressure here at home is really low. Like even just doing dishes, it's like annoying how little water comes out, but maybe like under $200. Let me know in the comments what you guys would recommend. So in case you didn't already guess it, the new wheels are 1552 Tarmacs. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been kind of teasing them the last couple of weeks with different renderings of how they might look on the car. And these are one of my all-time favorite wheel designs, and it's just so crazy now to see them here, sitting here with the tires mounted, ready to go on the car right now. So the specs that I got, they're 18 by 8.5 in the front, 18 by 9.5 in the rear. So we went down an inch in size from the VMRs that I had. Now I love those VMRs, but I realized pretty quickly that the 19s, they just really weren't conducive to the road quality where I live. Within 2 weeks of getting those wheels, I hit a pothole and I blew out 2 of the tires at the same time. So I decided with these wheels, I wanted to go to 18s. I think the 18 inches for the E90 platform is like the perfect compromise between looking good but also having decent ride quality as well. Now, one interesting thing to note about these wheels is that they don't have any concave at all. The front of the wheel is perfectly flat, which is kind of rare for wheels these days, but what they did, they have a really high offset in the rear, they're plus 20. So what they did is they actually added material to the back of the hub, and it's almost like having a spacer built into the wheel. So it's pretty interesting that they did it that way, but let's jack the car up and see how these look. By the way, if you have nice wheels, do yourself a favor and buy one of these wheel sockets. It's like a standard 17mm socket, but it's got this plastic sleeve. And that way when you put it in there, it's not gonna scratch up your paint. So I'll link one of these down below if you don't have one already. You know what's interesting is just using that floor jack, I can actually feel the weight difference between these two cars. And people always say like, oh, the FRS is underpowered, it only has 200 horsepower. This car is like 800 pounds heavier, so let that sink in. Well, it wouldn't be a proper car DIY if something wasn't impossibly hard to remove. Well, that was annoying. So I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. That way it shouldn't be that hard to remove the next time. But the plan for the suspension, right now I'm just on lowering springs with the aftermarket shocks and struts. But this season I do wanna get fully adjustable coilovers. I was looking at the BC Extreme Lows. But maybe you guys can leave a comment and let me know what you would recommend. I want the car as low as possible, but it is all-wheel drive, so I know that kind of limits the options that are out there. It's an XI, so just leave a comment, let me know what you guys suggest. So another thing that I want to do here pretty soon is a wheel stud conversion. You might have seen like on Keys Motorsports channel, they just did a video on that recently, but as somebody who changes their wheels a couple times a year, to me it's just a lot easier when you have a stud and you can just put the wheel right onto the studs rather than using these bolts. I think this is like a European car thing. So here's where things get a little interesting in the rear. Like I was saying earlier in the video, we went to a more aggressive offset in the rear. They're plus 20 as opposed to the plus 35 that I had on the VMRs. So basically offset is the lesser known wheel measurement. Like everyone knows what diameter wheels they have. Most people know their wheel width, but you don't really hear people talking about offset too much unless they're really serious about fitment or like really hardcore into racing. It's just kind of like a lesser known measurement. But basically offset is the distance between the center of the wheel to the mounting surface of the hub. And what you want to do, or what I want to do, is ideally you want the face of the wheel to be flush with the body of the car, hella flush if you will. So if I did my calculations correct here with this particular width, the 9.5 wide with the plus 20 offset on this particular E90 car, it should be pretty close to flush. So let's jack the car up and see how we did. Alright, so check out this rear fitment. That is like perfectly flush with the body. I'm so happy with how these look on the car. The offset is perfect. I think the diameter and everything is perfect. Last step is just going to be to get some coilovers and really get the fitment dialed in. But I'm going to pull it out into the sun. You guys can see how it looks. Let me know what you guys think about these wheels. I already know that they're not for everybody. Not everyone's gonna like this style, but I love them personally. There's just something about a clean 5-spoke wheel, especially with the silver on the black. It's just, I think understated is the best word for it, especially in a time where everyone's doing like the crazy 3-piece forged wheels with the crazy concave and like gold hardware. There's just something about the simplicity of these that I really like. So I'm gonna leave some links down in the description. All of the wheel and tire specs will be listed as well if you guys want to check those out. Which ones do you guys like, these or these?
These. Gee, those are so boring.
No, they're understated.
They're boring. Like there's nothing to it. It looks like those winter wheels you just took on.
Some of them good boys.
No, they're not.
Look at that fitment though. Perfect.
Look at the boringness though. That's right, there's nothing to look at. The star.
Some of them starfish boys.
Those are them ugly boys.
Blue, do you like my new wheels?
No! Blue say no, they're ugly. Blue sit. Oh, good baby. This is a good girl. This is a good blue puppy.